Time has come. I am here today to talk about the worst movie that has ever released in the history of Hollywood, cinema, or anything else. It is the worst movie I have ever watched and the movie I will spend the rest of my life hating until the day that I take my last breath. When I am in the ground, in that fucking dirt, in my grave, I will be complaining about this film because it's the film that made me hate cinema. It made me hate Star Wars. It made me hate filmmakers. It made me hate the world. This movie made me miserable. Now I'm talking about Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, the finale of the Skywalker saga that had been building for 40 goddamn years, guys. 40 years, and this is the finale, the last one, the ending of the story, the cherry on top. What could go wrong? It's directed by J.J. Abrams, a pretty big name in the industry. Produced by Kathleen Kennedy. Remember her? She finished Jurassic Park for Steven Spielberg. What a lady. Goddamn. What a shit show. I don't even know how to start this video. Let me just say this. One day I will find the strength to make a full video on this movie that's scripted, very methodical, very peaceful, very professional. I'll script it out. It'll be like a 30-minute long video and I'll do a much better job than I'm about to do. This video today is just me, no script, no nothing. I'm just gonna complain. I'm gonna be a Karen and bitch about Star Wars for like 10 minutes. So yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy, subscribe. So Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. It takes place a couple years after The Last Jedi, a movie that was also not very good, and we follow Rey, who is now being trained by Leia. She is a full-on Mary Sue Jedi. She's super, super powerful, the most powerful Force user in the history of the world, and her and the Resistance that are hiding out, fighting the First Order that have kind of become the new Empire, they find out, oh fuck, somehow Palpatine returned. How does Palpatine return? Well, somehow he returned. That's all you need to know.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And Kylo Ren found him, and Kylo Ren said, "Hey, Palpatine, what's up? What have you been doing?" And Palpatine's like, "Ooh, I am Snoke. I am your master. I'm Palpatine, the most evil man in the universe, and somehow I've returned." And Kylo Ren's like, "Fuck, I guess I'm like your apprentice now. What do you want me to do?" And Palpatine's like, "Go kill Rey." So Kylo Ren's like, "Oh, go kill Rey." All right, we have a movie. So the whole basic plot of this movie is it's a fetch quest, right? So Rey wants to find Palpatine so they can kill him because he's a dick. So she's going to find this weird knife thing that'll like help her find the map to get to Palpatine. And Kylo Ren, while all this is happening, is trying to kill her. So it's a fetch quest by trying to find Palpatine, a guy that has somehow returned, and she wants to kill him because he's a dick, obviously, because he's somehow returned and he's still evil. So a bunch of stuff happens. You go to another desert planet. They find out that stormtroopers, they fly now.
They fly now!
They fly now!
They fly now!
They meet up with Lando Calrissian. They fall into like this weird sand trap thing where Finn yells out, "Rey, I have to tell you something. And then you never find out what he had to tell her, which is, like, of all the terrible things about this movie, that's one that always just puzzles me. They wrote in a line, Finn struggles in the ground, and they wrote the dialogue, "Rey, I need to tell you something. Rey, I need to tell you something." And Finn gets pulled under the dirt, never telling her what he meant to say. Clearly that was something that was meant to be fulfilled later in the story, but I guess they just forgot. That's the only explanation, is they just frickin' forgot. That is one of the worst things I've ever seen in any movie, let alone a big, massive budget movie. That just... I hate this film. But either way, they find the knife, right? And they go off and they go to the area, the planet that the Death Star crashed under. I think it's supposed to be Endor, or maybe it's not. But they use the knife to find out where in the Death Star they have to get the map. And then Rey goes and she fights a weird, evil Force version of herself so they could put it in the trailer and convince you that Rey might turn to the dark side in this movie because there's no other purpose this has to the overall plot of the story. And then Rey and Kylo Ren have the worst lightsaber fight in the entire history of Star Wars. It's boring, it's dreadful. These are two trained Force users at this point, and this fight would literally put my grandma to sleep. There is no energy in it. There is no actual story or theme here to really grasp onto. It's just terrible. And then Rey full-on kills Kylo Ren. She stabs him with the lightsaber, and then she keeps him alive because she heals his stab wound with the Force. She uses the Force to heal his stab wound. I remember, I'm not gonna lie, about 8 months before this movie came out, the script for this film leaked. The full freaking script leaked. And I read it, not thinking it was real. Because in my mind, I'm like, how could Disney possibly leak this script to arguably their biggest movie ever? How could that happen? How could they let that happen? There's no way it's real. So I read it, and the whole time I'm flipping these pages like, this is fucking stupid. This is... no way they would do this shit. And when I got to the page that said she heals Kylo Ren's lightsaber wound with the Force, I damn near broke out in full-on laughter thinking, well, that solves it. There's no way this is real because Disney, there's just no way these people are this fucking stupid. And then I watched the movie, and yeah, they're that stupid, guys. So then Rey goes off to fight Palpatine. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren talks to Force Ghost Han Solo, even though he was never a Force user, so it's not what's going on in that scene. I've read theories that it's actually Leia Force projecting Han Solo across the galaxy, like Luke did in The Last Jedi, but she's purposely projecting Han Solo because she thinks that will connect to him better, and that's why she dies in that same scene, right? Because she's using her Force power to project herself across the galaxy. And that would actually be an interesting plot thread in this film, but they're not smart enough. There's no way that's what was happening here, because they are not intelligent enough. The rest of the movie is evidence that they were not intelligent enough to come up with that. So that's not what was happening, even if we want to believe it was. But Han Solo shows up. Somehow Harrison Ford was convinced to do this, and he has a conversation with Ben Solo where he's like, hey, it's not too late to stop being a dick. And Kylo Ren's like, yeah, you're right. Why was I ever being a dick to begin with? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Then no, it doesn't, right? Kylo Ren, for them to do him coming back to the light, him becoming a good guy again, it was never going to work. Kylo Ren needed to be the epitome of evil. He needed to be the biggest douchebag in the history of Star Wars. He had to become the main villain of this trilogy and end it with him being the villain of the trilogy. Otherwise, it's just redoing the Vader plotline that had already been done and will never be topped. What this trilogy needed to be is the children of Luke Skywalker and Leia Skywalker. It needed to be those kids. It had to be Rey, who should have been an actual Skywalker, facing off with Kylo Ren, who was also actually a Skywalker. The light of the Skywalkers meets the darkness of the Skywalkers. That is what this needed to be, and it seemed like the direction they might have been heading at one point, but this film just shits on it because somehow Palpatine returned. And you need to have a 2-on-1 fight, so Ben Solo then goes to the planet that Palpatine is on, and him and Rey confront Palpatine. You have this big thing where Palpatine's like, if you strike me down, Rey, because by the way, she's his daughter. I forgot to mention that shit. Palpatine got it on with somebody. Actually, he didn't. He cloned himself, and that guy got it on with something, so he's... I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Why am I trying to put logic on it? It doesn't make sense. But she is related to Palpatine. She is Rey Palpatine, and she goes through, and he's like, if you kill me, I will enter into you, and you will become a younger, stronger Palpatine. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that, because you've somehow returned, and I need to kill you, but not have you take over the galaxy again, or whatever. So her and Ben Solo fight him, and by fight him, I mean he throws Ben Solo out of the movie, because he has no purpose in this fight for some reason. What the fuck? And then Palpatine shoots his lightning at her. Because they were like, guys, look at the Star Wars trilogy. The original trilogy ended with a badass fight with Luke and Vader, where Luke realized that he couldn't strike down his father, and he threw away his lightsaber and said, I am a Jedi, like my father before me. You have failed, your highness. What a moment, right? The prequel trilogy ended with the Battle of Mustafar, the beautiful music, the great fight, everything going on there. They said, how can we top that? How can we end this saga with a third act? What do we do? How do we solve this problem? How do we make something so epic people won't be able to control themselves in the theater? And Kathleen Kennedy raised her hand like, I got it, guys. I got it. What if we have Palpatine, who has somehow returned, just go, and Rey will go, and Palpatine will go, ah! That's it! Why did he just stop shooting the fucking lightning? Like he did when Mace Windu was blocking him. There's a reason Mace Windu didn't win that fight. Because Palpatine stopped shooting lightning. But he forgot how to do that. Just like he somehow returned. So Rey wins. He just obliterates into dust like Voldemort. Just gone. He's done. He's dead. When he could have just stopped shooting the lightning and just flicked her with the Force off the chasm, killed her, and won the universe. That's it. Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck did they do? So Rey wins, right? But then she dies because she used like all her Force power, I guess, to kill him. And then Kylo Ren comes up because he's somehow alive and was just not involved in the final fight, and he uses the Force to bring her back to life, and she wakes up and she's like, and they look at each other, and everybody in the movie theater gasped because we were all like, please don't kiss. Like, please, no, right? Nope, they kissed, guys. They fucking kissed. Characters that going into this movie, I was still pretty sure are probably brother and sister or cousins. Yeah. Targaryen it up, baby. Oh my god. And then Ben Solo dies. Because why the fuck not? So how does the movie end? Well, they have a big celebration because they finally beat the Emperor, who somehow returned, and then Rey goes off to Tatooine, where this whole film saga started, to bury the original Anakin lightsaber and Leia's lightsaber, to bury them in the desert, because the one thing we know about Anakin and Luke, their legacy, is that they love sand, they love desert planets, and they would want their legacy and their grave to be on Tatooine, the planets that they love so much, and didn't spend both of their trilogies just trying to get away from. And then Rey confronted with this woman who asked her, who are you? Who are you, Rey? Who are you? I want to know your name. What is your name? And this whole trilogy, the theme being accepting who you are. Don't run away from who you are. You are Luke Skywalker. Don't run away from it. Come back and fight the evil First Order. You are Ben Solo. Do not run away from it. You're not Kylo Ren. You're Ben Solo. Accept it. You would think in this moment that Rey, when being confronted with who are you, this question that she's been confronted with this whole trilogy and having to accept who she is, not running away from who you are, no matter what the consequences are, you'd think she would be like, I am Rey Palpatine, and I'm going to make that name mean something more than death, destruction, and genocide. Fuck no, she doesn't do that. Instead, she goes, my name is Rey Skywalker, and yet again, another very audible gasp from the theater. Wow. Just, oh God. So she's a fake Skywalker. We have a fake Skywalker. This is like Joffrey calling himself Joffrey Baratheon. He's not. He's a Lannister. He's a Lannister. He's a Dick Lannister. He ain't no Baratheon, alright? Stannis is the true king of the Seven Kingdoms. Well, technically, Jon Snow is the true king, Aegon the Sith, right? But it's dumb. She's not a Skywalker, but she calls herself a Skywalker, and now she's, I guess, a Skywalker, but a Palpatine, but a Skywalker. It's stupid. And then she ignites her lightsaber, right? Her new lightsaber, because they go, guys, I have a great idea. Let's give her a badass lightsaber. An awesome freaking lightsaber that'll be Rey's, that she'll be known for. And let's put it in the last 30 seconds of the movie and never have her fight with it or use it on camera. What a wonderful idea, guys. My name's J.J. Abrams and I'm stupid. I'm sorry, that was mean. That was childish. But my God, this fucking movie, guys. I guess we'll see it used in the stupid Rey movie that we're getting for some reason. But then we get the final shot of the movie, which I think anybody could have told you this was going to be the final shot of this trilogy from the moment it started. It's Rey on Tatooine with the sun, the suns, the music swelling. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. We get our final and just the slow, painful death of Star Wars and hope for this universe and this property. Just, it all died right there. And I would give anything on my life to see what George Lucas said the moment he finished watching this film for the first time. I would love to know. I would love to just be a fly on the wall watching George Lucas view this movie for the first time. It had to be magical. What a shit show. This is the worst movie ever made because it's almost impossible to make a movie and get everything wrong. To get every beat of the story wrong. And there's a lot that I miss here. I didn't even mention the Chewbacca fake out death. I didn't even mention, like, Lando's weird daughter situation, everything with Poe, the misuse of Finn. I didn't talk about any of that shit, but I could in a longer video. This movie gets absolutely everything wrong. It doesn't work as a sequel to The Last Jedi. It doesn't work as a standalone Star Wars film. It doesn't work as a movie in general. It's poorly written. It's poorly structured. It's poorly visualized. The movie visually does not look good. Its two most epic moments were completely ripped out of Avengers Endgame. It's a movie that's trying to be fan servicey by going, look over here, we have Palpatine who somehow returned, but the fans didn't want fan service shit. They wanted good stories. They wanted a good movie, and they didn't get it because you fucks at Disney were lazy and didn't give a shit about this world. And you know what? We, the Star Wars fans, will never forgive you for it. We will never forgive you for this piece of shit. So every time you release a show like The Acolyte and it gets audience review bombed like it's doing right now, that is not happening because The Acolyte is a terrible show. It's happening because you gave us this piece of shit and told us to accept it, and if you don't like it, you're a sexist, racist slob. No, we're not sexist, racist slobs. We're not haters. You guys made bad movies and told us to go fuck ourselves. So you know what, Disney? You go fuck yourselves. That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry. I'm sweating because that was hard for me. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I will see you guys in the next one.